Alright guys, Bitcoin continues to just fire off here with haste, not giving the bears any lower prices to get out of their shorts. Does not look like we're filling that CME gap, but I do want to caution. I think we are closer to the top than many people think, and I'm fairly certain of this. That being said, I think the most amount of gains are still ahead of us. I think we're seeing that right now on the charts, especially in some specific altcoins. We're definitely seeing it's not across the board. Not all assets are running, and not all assets are running at the same time. We saw Doge fire off. Then after Doge, it was Pepe. Now we're seeing MOG go. So we're seeing this rotation from higher caps into mid caps into low caps. And it's happening all very, very rapidly. And I think we're soon approaching that time where we're going to see these small caps start doing 100Xs. And that will go ahead and start marking the top for Bitcoin as it approaches a potential blow off top. This top might not be like 2021. We might not spend 100 days in distribution. We might just blow off and then fail. Now, that being said, if this is the .com moment for crypto, things can get very, very silly in the markets, and we could see market caps that many people just don't think are possible. We could see a $500,000 Bitcoin parabola. So definitely don't need to be too scared out there selling too early, right? I think a lot of times selling too early can hurt more than selling a little bit too late. So I'm going to be very patient in this market. But let's go ahead and talk about some of these signs that I'm seeing on the chart, starting with XRP. So XRP historically does not run till the end of the cycle. We see back in 2021, it did not run until April 4th. If we look at where Bitcoin was April 4th on the daily time frame here, you can see that is all the way up here right at its high after it had started to distribute. So the fact that we're seeing this starting to go now makes me a little bit cautious. You could argue we are here and we're going to have some more volatility to the downside, but I just don't see this playing out for XRP. I don't think we're going to swing down like this. That is bear market activity. We are now in full bull momentum, and this is probably where it just skyrockets into potentially price discovery. I would not be surprised to see XRP actually demolish these highs of 2021 because it's the first crypto to have true regulatory clarity, and because we are going into this cycle with a lot more of governments backing Bitcoin. I think XRP could be a sleeper here, especially as it was one of the most underrated, underappreciated coins in the bear market. I would not be surprised for this to melt some faces, but with this going parabolic, it makes you wonder, are we already this close to the top? We look at last cycle. Once this thing goes parabolic, it does not last for long. From April 4th, the top came in on April 14th. This was a 2-week parabola here. So are we just 2 weeks away from the high on Bitcoin? And while I'm not going to call a top in 2 weeks, I don't think that's exactly what's happening. If we do see XRP top out with something like this, if we see it going to all-time highs within the next 2 weeks, then yes, we do got to be cautious in the markets. We might see alts, cool off a little bit and kind of just ramp up like this before they absolutely send to the upside, and maybe this happens around the Q1 of 2025 like I've been saying. But just because we are seeing this on the chart, don't think it's impossible for this cycle to be over within 2 weeks. And I guess not over, right? Whenever XRP topped out here last cycle, it was not game over. You had plenty of time to get out of the market. The distribution for this lasted for about a month. We go over to Bitcoin during this time frame here. All right, we actually saw a lot of assets making higher highs while Bitcoin made a lower high within here, and this lasted right around a month. So I think we still have not only 2 weeks left, but a month after those 2 weeks. So at least a month and a half of the cycle left. And I think as time goes on within that month and a half, if it is going to play out like last cycle, you will see that risk curve play out, and the smaller cap stuff will go at the end. So I'm definitely holding my smaller cap stuff to the very end. Even when Bitcoin makes a lower high, I know a lot of my assets are going to continue to produce really awesome gains. So I'm being very, very patient when it comes to the market. But let's be cautious here as Bitcoin starts approaching $100,000. I think things are going to get wild very, very fast. We're going to see this get broken potentially within the next week or so. When we see $100,000 get broken, the news headlines are going to go crazy all of retail is going to jump back into the markets, and we're probably going to see Coinbase number one on the App Store. If we deviate this psychological number and get back under, do not think it's impossible to roll back within the range, and then the bull market is over just like that. But of course, everything I'm saying here is just complete speculation. We really have no idea what's going to happen. We have a lot of insane catalysts this cycle. Trump proposed potentially 0% capital gains tax on crypto. Will that actually get passed? I hope so, but if that were to get passed, that's going to be a catalyst for people to want to hold their bags for a little bit longer and to buy up more supply. We also have the catalyst of them backing the US dollar in Bitcoin. These things are fundamentally going to revolutionize crypto in becoming an asset much more similar to gold than just a tech stock. All right, so we'll see what does happen. I could see the case where we swing fell 100K and then the bull market's over in just a couple of weeks. I also see the case where we last another year and go up into $500,000, even $1 million per Bitcoin if it starts getting priced in at a market cap similar to gold. So I just want to throw that out there. All possibilities are on the table, but that includes some ones that do end off sooner than everyone is expecting, and that's kind of where I'm more leaning right now. So I'm going to be continuing to harp on that. Let's look at Bitcoin on the shorter term time frames and talk about, is this actually the low, or do I think this is still going to get swept, right? Take out those lows. And we'll go ahead and look at the order flow to kind of figure that out real quickly. You can see as we came down here to this low, there was a lot of shorts being opened up in the market. And then you see at this last wick down here, open interest comes down a little bit. So a lot of shorts added onto positions. And then we squeezed out some longs at the lows. As we continued to march on up here, you actually see open interest coming up, but that is not longs opening. There was actually some shorts opening. So shorts continuing to add on to positions as price starts to head up. This gives us reasoning to believe that Bitcoin's actually not going to want to come back down here and get those shorts or let those shorts out of their positions. So I wouldn't be surprised either way, really. I mean, we do have big buyers looking to scoop up price at these single prints. So this would make sense to me, right? Come down there, grab it real quickly, and then continue on up. These buyers intrigue me. This is the one thing I would say that tells us, hey, we're probably actually going to test $85,000 again, but we'll see. I wouldn't be surprised really either way. I'm very 50-50 on the charts right now. Like I said, we're in price discovery. Very hard to predict what's going to happen, but just based on fractals of last cycle, since we're in this honey badger mode, this parabola for Bitcoin, I would expect trend's your friend to the end of the trend. The trend is higher lows. I wouldn't fade that. But at the same time, just don't be long in right now. You really shouldn't be buying in general right now. We're kind of in a retail arena at this point. You should just be holding your bags and being patient with the market. But yeah, interesting enough, with Bitcoin coming up here, we actually had the Russell coming down once again. So Bitcoin doesn't care much about the Russell at the moment. So assuming this does actually backtest value area high and continue on up, that's going to be ultra bullish, as it's just going to be an added confluence for Bitcoin to continue to climb that wall of worry into six figures. And especially for the altcoin market, I think this is going to send more expansion into total 3. You're not just going to see XRP or some few meme coins running. No, it should all run together, at least all the good plays. So some really exciting times ahead of us after this back test of value area high here on the Russell. And we now have total 3 coming up to test this sweep level again. I do expect this to get broken. I expect us to run significantly higher here on total 3, but we will be getting cautious at these retracement levels, right? The value area high, the 786, 886. So we'll be watching total 3 very closely, because I think there's a good chance we don't go into price discovery on this chart, but we'll see what does happen. Let's just stay patient, because I do believe most of the gains are still ahead of us. But with that being said, if you have any questions about anything I talked about, or just want to join the community for this channel, link to my Discord is in the description down below. Also, if you want to go ahead and get yourself some nice bonuses and rewards on exchanges, make sure to go check those referral links in the description down below as well, one of which, Belowfin, is doing a cashback reward. So deposit $10,000, get yourself $1,000 in futures trading bonuses. So you got that out there if you do leverage the trade. But with that being said, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.